Good morning and welcome to Ghana Shot. Earlier, I had done a program on China's demographic bomb, which is bursting. And for the first time, Xi Jinping has admitted that's happening. But as part of that video, I had said that look, this demographic decline is irreversible. It's not going to go back. And then I said that the other major factors which are there as part of the demographic decline are that births and population are declining. Aging and societal burden is increasing. Marriages are decreasing and divorces are increasing. Each of these is a subject of its own. And we need to understand and study this better. Today, we're going to talk of marriages and divorces. Look, as far as marriages in China are concerned, they're going down, and I'll prove it with statistics a little later. But certain interesting things which have come up is that, in China, the economy has persuaded a lot of hesitant people to give up on marriage. Then the marriage data indicates that youth and unemployment and the economy is much worse than we thought. And hence, people are not getting married. So the economy weighs heavily down on this business of marriage because marriages are not taking place, births are going down. The number of marriages which have been registered in China just for the first quarter of 2024, current year, has dropped 16.6%. It's just 4.75 million. And this is bound to reduce. Overall, in this year, the number of marriages are going to go down drastically, and I'll just show you in a tabular manner. The more interesting thing is China has put in place new rules where Chinese couples can get married easily, but divorce is a difficult affair. And that's also reflected to a certain extent in the data. Okay. There are other conditions. One has to understand why marriages are not happening. There are a lot of men who want to marry, but they have no means to marry, right? For one reason or the other. There are men who have means to marry, but don't want to marry because of the larger economic conditions. They are not interested in marriage. Women have good jobs, education, and everything. They want to be independent. They don't want to get into marriage. And other than that, there are not enough women available for marriage because in China, gender bias is rampant. Female infanticide was also rampant. In fact, it is also rampant. As a result, there's a gender imbalance. There are more males, lesser females. And then it's too costly to marry. Combine all this, why? There's an economic downturn, lower pay, unemployment, all these go in to prevent marriage. That would happen even in India if tomorrow your economy goes down. And of course, the last thing is it's easier to marry and people difficult to divorce. So if people say, look, if I can't get divorce, why should I marry? All these have contributed to number of marriages being lesser. Now this is a table which is very interesting to see what's happening here. Have a look. If you look at it over the year, this is data from 2016 to now. The number of marriages have steadily decreased. This figure is in thousands. So in 2016, it is if in 2016 it is 11,329, it is that many thousands. Slowly, this figure has come down, right? It is now estimated that this figure will be just 6 million. Last year it was 7.6 million, now 6 million. 6.2 million. So number of marriages have come down. On the other hand, divorces. When the marriages was more, the divorces were more. Then the Chinese suddenly started realizing that no, we should stop people from getting divorced, and they put down, you know, rules. And it was difficult for couples to get divorced, but that was also gone. Slowly, that figure has also changed. If you see, as you approach 2022, 23, slowly that's also going up back. So there's a societal problem at stake. This is the graph which suggests so. If you look at it, just, you know, from here, there's a slight uptick here for the simple reason China took a lot of efforts to get people married, but things have not happened in the right direction as far as the Chinese are concerned. This is a momentary thing. If you see overall, you're going to have a drastic reduction in marriages down to 18.8%, down by 18.8%. Yeah. Now, the first thing, of course, is that, for marriage, you need a lady to get married. And ladies in China are not interested in marriage. They don't want to get married, right? They feel that, look, they don't have to follow family norms, tradition, and all that. They're better educated, they're earning well, they want independence. They don't want to get involved with the idea of marriage and childbearing and all that. So that's a major, major, major problem in China. Right. To offset this, the government has stepped in. Okay. And they've stepped in because they say, look, people have to get married. So they're helping. This is one province. They're helping people getting married. There's also this problem that there are more number of bachelors and lesser number of brides. And in fact, uh, they're taking brides from Pakistan also. So Pakistan exports two things to China. One is donkeys, the other is brides. These brides go to rural areas. So that's how the story is China. And then, of course, there are a whole lot of matchmaking agencies which have come up in China to increase marriages. And the government actively supports these matchmaking agencies. First, let's get people married, then we'll look at births. Of course, there are things like this that they won't live in son-in-laws and things like that. But these are societal issues which are bound to come up. And then people now celebrate divorce in China. And divorce rates have continued to rise. In fact, there's a very hilarious article this where people throw parties to celebrate divorce. So the problem is getting more acute as days go by. Right? And naturally, their population woes deepen as marriage registrations tumble. So this, in effect, is the sum total of one facet of China's demographic decline. Marriages are decreasing, divorces are increasing, despite the steps taken by the Chinese authorities to reverse that trend. Because they feel unless a person gets married, rightly so, births won't increase.